guys, it's Maggie and I am back today to talk about wound healing because I'm about to have a surgery Friday that notoriously is known for not having a ton of success with the wound healing because it's in a weird spot and it usually involves damaged tissue. So I wanted to promote wound healing as best as I could. So I have done a lot of research. I've used the education that I got in WOCN school as well as nursing school. So I thought we would talk a bit about nutrition when it comes to wound healing as well as nutrition with inflammatory bowel disease. What I'm going to talk about today is definitely relative to anybody who's going in for surgery, especially if you are going to come out with a wound. And it's also relevant to people who tend to get wounds more often. So if you are unable to move and you may have some sort of pressure injury, this will be information that will be helpful for you. And if there are any nursing students, hi, how are ya? Let's talk about wound healing. So nutrition plays a huge role in wound healing, and many different elements that are in your food that you take in every day help you heal wounds. That's why when you get a cut, your body heals it. Because I'm relating this to inflammatory bowel disease, obviously people with this disease have more issues in healing because they're not able to get the nutrients as easily. And that might be because you're not taking in as much because you don't feel well, your intestines might not be absorbing as much, or your intestines are kind of flushing your food right through and you're not absorbing a whole lot out of it. So let's talk about the different elements that you need when it comes to both wound healing and IBD, what people are often kind of deficit in. And the number one thing is calories. Calories, calories, calories. That's what my GI doctor used to say, and I wanted to strangle her. But calories are super important because calories are energy. They're huge in wound healing and they promote tissue building. That's why I'm constantly looking for shakes that are high in calories. When I see 400 calories, I get so excited because that's just awesome. So the recommended amount when you have some sort of wound and you need to heal it, the recommended amount is 30 to 35 calories per kilogram in body weight. So we are going to do a calculation right in front of my face here. We're going to do 35. I'm going to be extra and go for the higher. So to do this calculation, you need to take your body weight, and if you know your body weight in kilograms, that's awesome, but most people in the US do not. So we're going to take your weight in pounds and you're going to divide it by 2.2, and that's going to give you your weight in kilograms. Then you're going to multiply that number by 35 calories, and that will give you how many calories you should have in a 24-hour period. Protein is also very important. It is helping with the nitrogen balance in your body, as well as it containing all of the amino acids. Basically, amino acids make up protein. There are different types of amino acids. There are essential amino acids, so you need it to live. There are non-essential amino acids, and then there are conditionally essential amino acids, which basically means that you need them when your body is in physiological stress. So when you have a wound. So your body can use those amino acids. You can even supplement if your doctor thinks that you need that. And there have been some small studies where they basically supplement a population of people with wounds and see if their wound healing is accelerated compared to a control group that doesn't have that supplementation, and they did see accelerated healing. They were small studies, so there isn't a whole lot of evidence with that, but it is suggested that maybe the supplementation of these not essential but conditionally essential amino acids helps with kind of accelerating that wound healing. Now there are food items that are considered complete protein, and that means that they have all of those essential amino acids, and that's stuff like meat, eggs, milk, like dairy products, they have all of those essential amino acids, whereas in a vegan diet, some of the things that they use for protein don't necessarily have all of the essential amino acids, but they can kind of use two different foods to make up all of the essential amino acids, so they're not missing any. That's why if you are a vegan, it takes a little bit more work, a little bit more research to make sure that you're getting everything that you need. Fluids. Fluids are super important, especially if you have IBD, especially if you have an ostomy. Chronic illness, honestly, in general, dehydration is huge, and you don't want to be dehydrated when you have a wound that needs healing. This is because there are so many things that can happen when you have a wound. You can have a very weepy sort of wound that is draining a lot of fluid, and whether you realize it or not, you can become dehydrated just from your wound draining that much fluid. So there are some different calculations. There's like a million different calculations to figure out how much you should be drinking. A really complicated one, if you're interested, is the 4-2-1 method. You can look it up online. It's kind of confusing. Basically, it's 4 milliliters per the first 10 kilograms that you weigh, and then 2 milliliters for the next 10 kilograms you weigh, and then 1 milliliter for however many kilograms extra you are beyond those first 210. It's annoying, but it is a good method, and they use that a lot in the hospital to calculate your IV rate. So if you're in the hospital, if you happen to be in the hospital and you're looking at your IV pump, look at the number, look at the rate on the IV pump, and see if that matches the 4-2-1 method, because I bet it does. A way easier way to do it though, not quite as accurate, a fairly good number for you to base your fluid intake off of is taking your body weight in kilograms again, so save that number, and multiplying it by 30 milliliters, and that tells you how much you should have in a 24-hour period. Of course, for those people with renal issues or cardiac issues, or if you have something totally different specified by your doctor, listen to them. Don't listen to this video. This video is just for educational purposes, but this is not to replace anything a doctor would tell you. Now, before we get to our vitamins and minerals, we don't want to forget our other two sources of calories other than protein. Protein's awesome, but we can't forget carbs and fats. Everybody needs carbs and fats, whether you believe me or not. A balanced diet is the best diet. Carbs are huge in delivering energy and also sparing protein usage, while fat is great for insulating. So your skin, you know, your bony prominences, like, I don't know, your tailbone or your shoulder blades back here, you need fat to insulate you, or else you get sores all over from laying in a bed, which I bet you're going to do a lot of if you're having surgery. So make sure that you're not avoiding one of those three groups. You need your protein, you need your carbs, and you need your fat. Okay, let's get into vitamins and minerals. And these are huge in IBD patients alone because we are deficient oftentimes in so many of them. They are also huge. There are 3 ones that I'm thinking of that are huge in wound healing. So we're going to talk about those first, and then we'll go into some of the ones that IBD patients in particular are short on. So 3 that have been found to be important in wound healing are vitamin C, zinc, and copper. So it has been found that patients that are deficient in vitamin C have had delayed wound healing, so that's why you want to make sure that you're getting that vitamin C in. Zinc is important for collagen formation, and it's also helpful with protein metabolism. It's needed for that. And then copper is needed for the cross-linking of your collagen. Now, for the things that IBD patients in particular are deficient on, they are often deficient in so many things, and I can tell you firsthand experience that all the ones I'm going to mention at one point or another I was deficient in. So things like vitamin D and calcium. A lot of us, because we're on steroids, we wind up having osteoporosis, and that calcium and vitamin D is important for your bone health. How many of you have been anemic and you're low on iron? I have. So iron supplementation is Almost every IBD patient that I know has been supplemented with iron. A lot of patients need folic acid supplementation, and that's because they are on specific drugs that are for IBD, like methotrexate, which breaks down folic acid in the cells. They need supplementation of folic acid. So what I'm going to tell you is that for a long time, I was on 25 pills a day, and only 9 of them were actually IBD specific. It was 8 of Pentasa and 1 of mercaptopurine. The rest of the pills that I was taking was just an insane amount of supplements, and it got to the point when I wasn't my best in my IBD health that either I wouldn't take them or I felt full and then I wouldn't eat anything else. Some of these pills were horse pills, they were giant, or my body just had a lot of difficulty breaking them down and I would feel kind of sick to my stomach after taking them. So I actually got in contact with a company that makes an IBD specific supplement, which is really cool, first of all, because it is specifically for those with Crohn's and ulcerative colitis. They've narrowed down the things that IBD patients can be deficient in, and they've created a supplement based on that. The really cool thing, though, that I have been so excited about is that instead of taking all of those different supplements per day, trying to organize them, not forgetting the one in the back of the medicine cabinet, it is 6 soft gels per day that covers everything. Covers all the supplements that I was taking individually in one. So I'm just grabbing one bottle, taking the 6 out, getting on with my life. So this is Pro-Eucro. I've been using it the last few weeks, especially after being hospitalized and being very weak and not being able to take in a whole lot. I have been using this to get back on my feet, and I'm continuing it for my surgery. In the past, I've had a lot of trouble absorbing certain supplements because of the way that they're made. Things would tend to come out as they went in, but soft gels have always been the way to go. So these are easily absorbable. Nothing has come out my ostomy bag that shouldn't. So I'm using these supplements along with a proper diet of protein and carbs, fats, and fluids to ensure that I am going to have the best chance for wound healing, because I really, really want this wound to heal properly. I'm happy because this is so much easier. You should see our medicine cabinet. I actually have to clear it out because I just need this guy in there now. It's filled to the brim. Every time I go to take something, they just spill out. They just spill out onto my head, and it's a mess. So I'm excited to clear that all out, just get this guy in there. The other cool thing is they have a chewable version, and it's bubblegum flavor, so I thought I would try it on video. I haven't even opened this yet. I just got it yesterday. This one you also take 6 of, and you take it with food or water, so let me try it out, and I can tell you firsthand what it tastes like, because that's the most important thing. So this is what the chewable tablet looks like, and I'm going to try it. Dixie! Come here. Come here. Why? 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 Alright, I apologize for my dogs barking like crazy. They are working on the barn and they need our water. So they turn the little water knob and it squeaks and the dogs freak out. Even though they do it 18 times a day, guys. You'd think you'd get used to it. But whatever. As I was saying, these are delicious. One thing I was a little worried about with chewable vitamins, there's a popular children's one that I took as a child, and it tasted like vitamins, and that's the only way that I could explain it. It's got this, like, I don't know what it is, but just like this aftertaste, or this where you know that you're taking vitamins. This does not have that taste. Ooh, I really like these. I might be taking these more than I take the soft gels, because these are delicious. Awesome. So the company has graciously given a coupon code to the viewers of this channel. So if you want to make a purchase and get 20% off your first order, you can type in LetsTalkIBD. And if you subscribe for continued delivery of this, you'll have 5% off continued for every order after. I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited to add this in, as well as, you know, a proper diet, which we talked about, all the important elements that make up a balanced nutrition. I am excited to use this to really give myself the best chance, because I really don't want to go back into surgery to have this wound repaired a different way. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something from it, and I will see you in the next. Bye!